welcome to another edition of the Hollywood Post. I'm Juliana Jai Bolden. In studio today, Michel Duval of Deadly Class. SyFy has given us a truly, truly killer series with this one. It has its roots in a graphic novel, and to tell us more about how it came to be with the amazing Russo Brothers, nonetheless, we have Michel Duval.
Hello, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm actually over the moon having watched the pilot, and I'm a bit conflicted because you're hard not to root for because you're so powerful on screen, but you're playing a bad boy. Tell us about Chico.
Yeah, Chico, he's a bad guy in the show. He's the number one at the school. Nobody messes with Chico. He's such a different villain, and I think the relationship that he's gonna have with the lead character, Markus, is going to be a love-hate relationship, and people are going to love Chico, they're going to hate Chico, and like you said, they're going to root for Chico even sometimes, which is crazy, but we'll see how it goes.
So in seeing how it goes, tell us how it went with the Russos. The Russos have, when you say that name, people think of the Avengers and all of the amazing work that these brothers have done. Were the brothers there? Did they have a team of folks that were creating this story, how they wanted it to go? What was your involvement with them?
Being a Marvel fan, super fanatic of that universe, the Russos are like a mythical creature for me, It's like, oh, the Russos. And they were there. They read the comics. They fell in love with it. The fact that they fell in love with it means something. And so their involvement was since the beginning. They did create a team that represented them because we were filming in Vancouver. And, the Russos are so amazing individuals because they're never stop working, They could be doing this and they go to the phone and then they go to the screen and then they take another phone and do a call. So they were doing reshoots for Avengers Endgame while we were filming in Vancouver. So they sent a team of creative people to represent them, and they were always there in the shoots. So amazing to see, such a powerful team of people come together, talking about the pilot, we have the director of photography of Stranger Things, Tim Ives. We have Lee, which is our director for the pilot, who he's done so many pilots, and all of the pilots he directed are picked up to series. We have the Russos. We have such an amazing cast. So I think it was meant to be, it's crazy to see this comic book come to a live action series, and it's kind of a responsibility because these characters already exist. They exist in people's heart. They exist in people's minds. So being able to take on that character but bring it a little bit of myself was such a challenging and amazing experience.
Tell me about what you may have learned either from the Russos or learned about yourself in getting into this character, Chico.
It was an everyday learning experience. I'm really into the business, not only acting, but everything that happens behind the cameras. So I would be asking, what lens are you using? I would be asking, whether you put the light there. So every day I was learning. It was like a master class because I'd see different directors do their stuff, the directors of photography, camera guys, the lights. Everything was so inspirational. And with myself, I think this is the best acting role that I've gotten into. I had more than 10 months to prepare the character, and I really wanted to bring. Yeah, it is. We filmed the pilot ends of 2017, and we got picked up at September 2018. So I had a while to do the character, and so when I came back to do the season, I brought a different guy. I really wanted to go inside another person, and so the physicality, the way he speaks, the way he fights. The posture, the way he walks, everything is different from Mitch. And then they add the makeup, they add the wardrobe, and it just comes to life and you become another person.
That's so amazing hearing about how you connected with your character, Chico. So before Deadly Class, you were inside of another character for quite a while, Salvador Acero, on Señora, Acero.
Yeah.
And this ran for quite a long time in your home country, Mexico. Talk to me about that experience and gaining Mexican fans in your country and then coming here.
It's crazy because, actually, Señora Acero aired on the U.S. So that's when I started getting a lot of Hispanic, Latino fan base. I gotta say that Señora Acero was like that project that changes your life, you know? It just sets you on a path, on a journey. And I was really hungry for work. I started when I was really young. I started when I was 10, 11. I did some stuff, but my mom always, she told me, when I told her I was gonna be an actor, she said, I know, I always knew, but you're gonna be a kid first, and you're gonna live, and you're gonna go to school, and you're gonna get your heart broken, and you're gonna get in fights, and you're gonna have a group of friends. Then, once you've lived, you still wanna do this, you go on your journey and you do what you want. And so when oh yeah, my mom, she's a blessing, man. She's such an inspiring story, and I was like the VIP witness. She raised 2 kids by her own. We started in a really outside town in Mexico. She eventually started getting jobs as an actress. She's now one of the biggest comedians in Mexico, so it's an amazing story. When I told her, Mom, I'm ready, I wanna leave the nest, she prepared me. So I went to New York for 6 months to New York Conservatory of Dramatic Arts. I went to Idlewild Arts Academy, which is really close from here. I went there for a year and a half. I went to Miami, I studied in Mexico. So then I moved to Los Angeles, and I went to the Stella Adler Academy of Acting and the Musicians Institute, and I was there for 2 years and a half. And then I went back to Mexico, and I was ready to put everything that I learned in work, you know? Because if you're learning something, it's so you can put it in the process and do it. And then I got Señora Acero, and it started as a really small character, you know? I was just the son of Señora Acero, you know?
The son of Señora. And for those that may not be familiar with Señora Acero, just recap what the series is about.
Yeah, Señora Acero follows the story of this young lady. She's married to a bro cop. He's doing deals with the cartel. And so they take him out. And then all the debt that he had with the cartel is now, you know, it's in debt with the mother. So she has to escape from the cartel. And she takes her son with him. And it's a story of how she survives and she does everything for the son. And on the second season, the son grows up. That's when I come in as a 16-year-old boy. And the second season is more about the son growing up, being a pain in the head for the mother, and the mother still escaping and try to exclude him from the cartel world. But little by little, he starts following the mother's footsteps because she has to become a cartel leader to fight the cartel.
Exactly.
And so she builds her own cartel. And then she dies at the end of the second season. And so the character, my character, is the heir to the throne. And so he takes the ropes of the business and then starts doing everything on his own. And then we did 4 seasons. It's crazy because, you know, every season is like 75 episodes. So I filmed over 200 episodes of Señora Acero, but I gotta say, it's one of the projects that just left a spot in my heart.
How does the way that Mexicans and Mexican Americans are portrayed here in this country differ from your perspective and the way that you see us before you came here?
I don't know, man. You know, like I feel like Mexico, the country's got like a really bad reputation. I feel like most of the people in the U.S. and maybe outside Mexico portray Mexico as a big desert, you know. And no, we got like one of the biggest cities in the world. We got a lot of people in that city, and so I really tried, like at least with Señora Acero. Señora Acero, though the first and second season are based on a true story. So she was real. The son was real also. I really went into research of heirs of cartels, you know? Maybe not the cartel boss, but who's gonna heir the throne once that cartel boss is gone. And I really went into Pablo Escobar's son. He lived stuff that no kid should have lived. And I think for my character in Señora Acero, he was so young when they took his father. He was so young when they took his mother. I don't want to relate to it because, you know, this is fiction and that was real life. But just seeing how he could be a 17-year-old boy, but he's lived so much that he's a 50-year-old man inside. So the maturity, the life experiences, he's the next generation, no? So at least with Salvador Acero, I wanted to do something like that. I of course watched The Godfather, like a Vito Corleone, Michael Corleone type of succession of the business. And so that was kind of the research for that character. And what I really love about the character is like he never wanted to be part of the business, but it was in his blood, so he couldn't escape it. And even till the last season, everything he did was to take his family away from that world, but that world just kept bringing him back. And I think that's real life, man.
I keep trying to get out, but you keep pulling me back in.
And that's crazy because that happens in the real life. You do one deal and you're in for life. And it's crazy to portray that type of realness, no?
Well, your character Chico might not be based on an absolutely real character,
No.
but there are some things about this character that are absolutely rooted in very real experiences with the high school cliques and the girlfriend, and we could talk a little bit more about that. But this rivalry with Markus, let's talk more about what it was like when you first met Benjamin, and you all started to get your rhythm.
It was crazy because I was the last one to arrive to the set when we were filming the pilot. I was doing Señora Acero season 4, so I had to be a little bit late to the film. And so when I got to Vancouver, I was literally going inside the hotel. I was checking in, and I just heard like a group of guys like, "Chico?" And I'm like, "What's up?" And then I just saw Markus, which is Benjamin, Willie, played by Luke, and I saw Saya, which is played by Lana. They're like, "You're Chico, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Welcome. We're so excited that you're here. We're going to go eat oysters. Do you want to come with?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure, man, of course." And so we went, we had dinner, and 2 days after, we started filming my stuff. And so I really see Benjamin as a little brother, you know? He's blessed. He's blessed with the opportunity that he has. He has such a big responsibility. And I've been in this business for so long that I don't know, I almost feel like a little like parental figure. Like I want to lead him in a way because he's made for success. There's people that are just made for success, and I think Ben is one of those. And so we really worked on the scenes. We're really good friends, so the rhythm was genuine, and we respect each other's work so much that we gave ourselves the freedom to experience stuff in the scene. And that relationship with Markus and Chico is gonna surprise the audience, man. It's gonna be a big moment for the show.
We actually have a clip of Chico and Markus meeting for the first time. Can you set this up for us?
Yeah, Chico tells Markus that he's gonna fight him, and he has to be ready at night. But Markus takes the matter to his own hands, and he goes up to Chico and starts the fight. And so Chico shows him a little bit of what's going on here. But remember, one of the biggest rules in King's Dominion is you cannot kill another student. So he just warms the things up. I think in episodes to come, you're gonna get to see that relationship, and it's gonna blow the audience away. So let's watch it.
Let's take a look.
Good. You're learning. Just a friendly spar with my new amigo. Get some rest, Markus. We'll finish this later. Vámonos.
Mitch, talk to us about the way Deadly Class really looks like the world that we live in. It's incredibly diverse. There's a lot of very specific Latino cultural references, Dia de los Muertos, and the fact that, Markus is Nicaraguan, and your character, Maria, are you bringing a lot of your own personal knowledge into this story, or was this written already for you when you got into the character?
Well, we have amazing writers, man. Rick Remender, Miles Orion, they're the writers of the show, and they're just unbelievable. It's such a good writing. What I really tried to get involved with was bringing a little bit of Spanish, Because at the end of the day, if I'm Mexican, of course, I'm living in the U.S., I'm speaking English, But this guy knows how to speak Spanish. So I really went with Mexican words that maybe people in the U.S. don't know. Maybe even for like Latino audiences, you know, like we have different slangs. You know, Colombia has different slangs. Argentina, Mexico, it's the same language, but we have different types of saying stuff. Absolutely. So they gave me a lot of permission with that. You know, being able to express myself in Spanish, but with my Mexican type of speaking. So I when I was a kid, I would see a lot of movies with a Mexican character. Like he didn't even know how to speak not only Spanish but Mexican Spanish, you know. And I'd be like, that's not what we say. That's not how I would say it. So being able to say it like I'd say it, I think for people not only in the Latino communities, like in Mexico, they're gonna be like, oh, did he say that? Because I say that, you know. And I don't know. I just feel like we are. At the end of the day, we're just one race, and that's the humankind, you know? We're just human. We can be from all over the world, but at the end of the day, we're the same, like, we're the same skeleton. That, we're no different inside. So I really dig the fact that, you know, Markus is Nicaraguan, that we got like Chico and Maria representing more of a 100% Mexican, because Markus has a dad, Latino dad, but an American mom. And so he represents like the Hispanics. But Maria and Chico, they represent the Latino, you know, like the blood just coming out. And I feel that can be portrayed because they both are really passionate. They're both really driven by emotions. That's like a little bit of Latino. And the writing was so amazing. So half of the job was already done with the words because it's so good.
For you all on the show, is there talk about the strife that exists in America right now? There's some racial tension, and we have a president trying to build a wall. And when I watched the show, it made me feel as if it could do some good or cross some cultural bridges to help people not be so contentious.
Yeah. You know, I feel like it's a really controversial show because it talks about stuff that most of the people don't want to talk about. You know, it's crazy to see our lead character wanting to take out President Ronald Reagan. So just starting with that, a young kid wanted to go after the president. That's crazy. You know, that's crazy. It's unbelievable. And I do feel like in the writing we kind of make amends with the whole racial problems that we have. You're gonna see so many different characters that in the school hate each other, having to come together, to work together, and see that maybe it wasn't that bad, you know? At the end of the day, you're gonna see so many different faces working together, even though they're all competition, even though they're all trying to murder each other in a way. So I feel like it's such a delicate subject, but portrayed in such a human way that people are gonna see different colors, different faces together. And I really hope that
Different people on different sides of the aisles working it out. Perhaps our own Congress
yeah,
can like
and-
take a couple of tips from Deadly
yeah,
Class.
man, and maybe we can take, like you said, some of that show and just bring it into real life and work together as a team and just go ahead and work it out.
Just a couple of more things. You talked about expressing yourself, and I happen to know that you are a fabulous musician, and I want to hear more about your life as a recording artist.
Fabulous. Thank you for the word. You know, I just say that I speak 3 languages. I speak Spanish, I speak English, and I speak music. I know how to read music a little bit, but I speak music. I know that every instrument awakens different feelings inside of me. So I just started playing around by ear with piano, with guitars, with even the violin, which is amazingly hard.
You're saying playing around. You're doing a lot of playing around. You got signed to Universal.
Yeah, but I was saying when I was a little kid and and I was finding my way in this artist world, I'd play around with instruments and I just knew that every instrument was telling me to go somewhere, to tell that story. So then I started getting into it. I got a scholarship for the Musicians Institute here in Hollywood. I went in for vocal performance, music production, and then that's when I understood the language. Once I knew the tones, the notes, everything that comes with, it's like an escape for me. When I can't say it in words, I say it in music. So I got signed by Universal. Thank you for that. We dropped an album earlier last year. I did really well. I'm really excited to go back and work in a second one because I've grown so much, I've learned so much, and it's everything in that. Because I know I'm an actor, but I want to come to a place where people see me as an artist. Because I act, I direct, I produce, I sing, I songwrite, I compose, I dance. Everything that has to do with art fills my life. So I know that I'm made for this.
Well, we think that you're made for this, definitely. And last question, in bringing your whole self into your work, Deadly Class, there's a lot of passion and romantic, fortitude with you as a person. Does Chico get to express some of that with his girlfriend Maria on the episodes coming up?
You're gonna be. I think you're gonna be blown away by Chico's transition. You're gonna see him. At the end of the day, I believe that Chico is here to serve Maria and Markus, because that's the love triangle that works there. You're gonna see a rivalry that started as a little fight in a schoolyard be taken to a level where it's gonna be unbelievable what happens. And with Maria, you're gonna get to see this toxic relationship. But it's crazy because at the end of the day, you're gonna see that they do love each other. I really think that everyone in that school is a broken kid. Chico doesn't know how to love, only Maria. Maria doesn't know how to love, only Chico.
Well, we do have a clip. Set this up for us with you and Maria. I believe it's a little bit into the season, so.
Yeah, Chico and Maria are put together in a task that is kind of gory. And then Chico comes back and tells her to not worry because he's taking care of everything. And that's a breaking point for Maria where it kind of escapes. It's like subconscious. And she says, I need a break. And Chico says, what? And we'll see what happens.
Let's see it.
Cálmate, baby. Let's play some movie night. Forget about the mess we had to clean up, eh? Already have.
I need a break.
What does that mean? You don't want to see me?
Of course not. I was gonna go to the dance with Saya.
You should have said something, baby. I'll throw in my fancy shit.
No, it's okay. We were gonna do girls' night. Just the two of us. Please. Just one night.
Whatever you want.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's been an amazing time talking with Michel Duval of Deadly Class. Before we get out here, Mitch, do you have any future projects that we need to be looking forward to in addition to these future episodes of Deadly Class?
Yeah. I think that 2019 is going to be a really good year. Right now, we're really focused on Deadly Class. I hope that it does amazing. Also starting like different projects. I have a production house for original content. I want to go back to music and different characters, man. I'm just looking for characters that feed me like Chico does and see what it holds for us.
Well, I think it holds a whole lot of great times.
I hope so too.
For 2019. So that's it. You're going to look for Deadly Class. You're going to go on YouTube. In addition to looking for and subscribing to Black Tree TV, you're going to look for Luna Films.
Yeah.
On YouTube. And we will see you on the next episode of The Hollywood Post.
Deadly Class every Wednesdays at 10, only on SyFy.
Perfect.